I'm heading the base station factory here in Finland, in Oulu. We are making those very nice-looking boxes that you can see in the lobby. When we think of factories, factories are, from my experience, the most measured and compared parts of companies. And believe me, we have felt that over the years and on all other electronics companies in this field. So when we think of development, the pressure is there. If you are not cheap, you need to be smart. And some 4 or 5 years ago, we felt the pressure, but we also started to seeing a lot of opportunities from Industrial Revolution. Nobody talked about Industry 4.0 those days, or Industrial Revolution, but we started to see possibilities to change our manufacturing world heavily and see the possibilities to change the game a bit. In the history, the game was always find the cheapest location for manufacturing and go there, manufacture there. But we started seeing possibilities on affecting on the product design so that by being smart, you can also compete in a bit higher cost countries. And that's what we have done over the past 4 or 5 years. So in our journey, we have seen that factory environment has changed dramatically. On the next slide, I will show what our factory looks like today. It looked totally different 3 or 4 years ago. And the key levers, key things that have changed is that we have increased automation level heavily. Automation development in the world has been very, very fast over the past 5 years, and we have been able to utilize that trend. Digitalization has moved forward. We have been able to use algorithms and data to make our processes more clever. And we have also used some VR, artificial intelligence examples to bring our production competitiveness up. So when we think of the factory partners, we have traditional partners. We have machine suppliers there, but we have also seen them changing a lot. If we have a machine supplier supplying us the placement machines, it's not enough that they provide the machine. They also need to provide means to integrate the data from all the machines, create layers and interfaces to the data so that we can build intelligence on them. So we have put a lot of pressure on our partners and suppliers to develop. Some has then dropped out. They have not been able to transform, and some have been with us on this journey. So journey is not there. We are not on Industry 4.0 level yet. We see that this is speeding up all the time. We have increased our productivity in Oulu about 20-25% over the past 3 years, every year compared to the previous year. So making 25% more with same resources. But we see that this IoT world and bringing the whole platform and system together brings another game and another mean for even increasing that speed in the coming years. And we believe that to really utilize all the possibilities in that game, we need to be open and we need to work together. We don't have all the competence and all the knowledge how to make the smartest IoT factory of the future. But I believe that if we do it together with the right partners, we can build the smartest IoT factory in the world. This is our factory. I want to just briefly tell you what our journey has contained over the past 3-4 years. Not going into very details, but as Jyri was also saying, the key is to work with R&D. Maybe you cannot totally change cars, and they are pretty similar today as they were 5 years ago. But in our world, we have done big changes in the way our engineers design, so that products are, we can manufacture them with robots. That was not possible in the history. Today it is. That's a big lever. So we have influenced heavily on the new product generations that we have brought up this year and last year. Then in factories, it's quite natural that you start from the value chain. the key flow that you have in the factory. That's where we started as well. So when we do the product, the base station product, there are printed wire boards that we first manufacture, and then we combine, we assemble them to a unit, to the mechanics, and we add the connectors and so on. So in these areas, 2 phases of the production flow, we have done most of the work in the beginning. So our automation level has increased from 55% to 70% over the years, giving us big competitive advantages. What we are now doing is that we are making our logistics more intelligent. So we are, as we speak, having a project ongoing where we think of new ways of bringing materials to the line. We already have trains of doing that, but now we want to build in even more intelligence and efficiency on those processes. With this development, we have identified single cases here and there where we can utilize digitalization to improve the processes. So, for example, when we feed the materials to our assembly lines and SMD lines, we use trains. And it's very important that trains are in time. If they are delayed by 5 minutes, something stops in our production. So we have put sensors to our material trains to follow their routes and having alerts if they are late so that we can react in time. Another example is in our world, it's very important that the temperatures and humidities are controlled on certain limits. So we have put automated systems to follow it and giving us pre-alerts if we are not in those limits. And how we see the future, what we are doing right now, from these different single use cases of IoTs here and there in the factory, we are building a platform. So we want to have a full system where we utilize sensoring and data from different machines, different systems, applications on the factory floor more effectively. So we will use there some platforms and techniques Nokia has already. Naturally, we have the connectivity, because that's what we do. We also have some hardware and software platforms that we can utilize. But we also need a lot of partners to work in this area with us, especially providing us devices like sensors and systems on the floor. That's not the core we do. And also bringing us the interfaces and, let's say, the command centers to the data. Those are the areas where we need our partners to help us. I will actually skip this. I explained some of the use cases already. So this is the platform that we are building. The core is there that we have ourselves, and then on top and on the bottom, we have the areas where we mostly need help from our partners, and we welcome partners to develop this with us. So summarizing a bit how we see the future, we want to open up. We see that we need to open up to the ecosystem to create the best platform, IoT platform, to the factories. And what we can offer is a real environment. So as I mentioned in the beginning, we feel the pressure. We need to deliver results every month, and we see where the best possible cases, business cases are. And we really manufacture all the time. So if you have good ideas and you see possibilities to innovate with us, we are happy to talk about it and see if we can work together, innovate together. And how I see who will win this game in the future. Some 4 or 5 years ago, nobody talked about Industry 4.0, understood what it is. Now, gradually, we understand more and more. But even today, we don't understand fully what the factory of the future will be like, because there are more and more possibilities coming up all the time. But those who understand and update their understanding all the time are the winners of the future. Capability to innovate is very much the key, and that's what we have done over the past years. Innovate, there's always a possibility to fail. That's okay, but fail fast. Try new things. If it seems that that's not the right path, take another path. Go there. But don't be scared in taking risks and innovating. Transformation is the key word. World is not ready, factories are not ready, they evolve all the time. So you need to be able to transform the factory every day to the future. See the opportunities, transform. I believe truly in ecosystems. It would be easy to say that Finland ecosystem is the best place to be. No, if you want to be the best in the world, you need to take the best out of your local ecosystem, but also build bridges to the best in the world. That's the way to have the winning ecosystem of the world. And of course, last but not least, it doesn't happen without any money. So you need to be able to invest to some things. But I want to emphasize you can do a lot with very reasonable sums of money. If you do lean, you improve processes, you invest very carefully, you can do a lot already. That's it. Thank you.